test series before without having actually played a long form game? Is it is it a challenge you've dealt with before in your career?
Are you testing me here? I'm trying to think. I don't think so. I suppose my test debut, actually, I hadn't played a red ball game for about 7 or 8 months before debuting. I think the good thing this time around is we've got 8 or 9 day lead in here in Adelaide. So today, we've got a centre wicket, so I'll probably go out there and bowl, 8 overs or so, simulating, I guess, the Sheffield Shield match. So, yeah, I don't see too much of a problem as long as I've been playing and bowling quite a bit, high intensity, played 20 games or so in the last couple of months. So I feel like I'm used to playing a game, and it's just that slight tweaks as we move into longer form cricket.
Hey, Pat, Virat Kohli gets a lot of the headlines, but it was Pujara last time that really dominated you guys. What have you guys been doing to prepare for him, and have you figured out a way to get through him?
G'day, Fezza. To be honest, we haven't really spoken yet. We only got into camp a couple of days ago, so I'm sure we'll sit down and have a couple of meetings, and like we do most training sessions, the bowlers will be talking to each other and coming up with some plans. But like always, I think it's really important that you concentrate on, I concentrate on what I do well as a bowler, and same for the other guys. Of course, you might tweak your plans slightly for a certain batter, but hopefully, a couple of years on, we're all a little bit better equipped as bowlers and see what happens.
Sonny Gavaskar's quoted in the papers today. Ben Horn's got a quote out of him saying that Pucovski's got to prepare himself for the short ball if he plays. I know it's a lot of if and buts, and I know we're still, almost a week away from the game, but could something like that trigger a bumper war between the two sets of bowlers?
I'm not sure about that. I think for someone like Will, he's been hearing that for a couple of years, and scoring 2 double centuries back to back, I think he can handle that pretty well. So, if that happens, good luck. Us bowlers will worry about what we want to do. Of course, it's a weapon that we like to use. It's of course here in Australia as well, slightly bouncier wickets. Try to push the batter back, and so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I can't see it being too much of a headline grabber this summer.
We've seen in the past, great fast bowlers having great rivalries with the top batsmen in the world, like, Glenn McGrath, Tendulkar, Glenn McGrath, Lara, Ponting, Flintoff, etc. I mean, you are the number 1 test bowler now. I mean, you can't bowl to Steve Smith. And Kane Williamson doesn't score many runs against you guys. So that leaves Virat as the only one left in the top 3. Would you like to, what's your take on establishing such a rivalry with the top batsman in the world? I mean, you think that's pretty important as far as, a top fast bowler is concerned? Yeah,
I'm happy I don't have to bowl to Steve Smith. That's great. And I saw Kane Williamson double 100 last week, so pretty glad I'm not playing over there as well. I think when you're in the moment, of course, you try and maybe lift a little bit. You sense the big wickets when someone walks out there. Normally it's the captain. So, of course, you want to get into that contest. That's a really important part of the game. In terms of how that fits into the overall storyline, I don't really think about it too much. But, of course, growing up as a kid, they're the kind of competitions and battles that you tuned into TV for. Of course, I remember, Glenn McGrath bowling to Lara. You had to watch it. You knew something was going to happen. So, yeah, love being in those moments. See what happens this summer.
Just wanted to ask you about you and the other 3 quicks, Josh, Mitch and James, because, over the last 8 or so years, there haven't been too many instances where you guys have all been sort of fit together. And what's it like sort of being able to bowl as a group with, 3 other, I suppose, high-class fast bowlers and how does that sort of, I suppose, make it easy for you guys to, do your planning and bowl together at the games?
That's exciting. And, we're a really tight bunch as well. And I also had, Mike Manessa, who's been on the last few tours as well, and Shawnee Abbott's coming to the side now as well. But, those particular guys, we've been a similar age. We've had kind of similar careers for the last 10 years. So the last few tours that we've spent together, great talking bowling. Out there on the field, I love knowing that when I finish my spell, I've got someone like a James Pattinson or Starkey who's going to come in and go flat out, and you've got Joshy Hazelwood down the other end, and I guess knowing that there's no weaknesses and no let up, it's just a great thing to be involved with. It's super enjoyable, satisfying, and if they take wickets and I don't, I'm just as happy for them. So
we're too young to remember the West Indies fast bowlers, but I mean, I'm guessing you may have read about them. What do you think about comparisons to the current four to say the Windies of the 80s?
Yeah, I can't say I've seen too much of them. Seen some highlights and obviously heard lots of stories, but that'd be a pretty cool comparison. Here we are 40 years later still talking about them, so I think we've got a bit of a way to go, but maybe ask me in 40 years. That would be nice if you're still writing about them.
Michael Clark's come out this morning and has said you have to be the next Test captain. How do you feel when a former captain comes out and anoints you as the next Test skipper?
That's nice of him. Thanks, Clarky. He's been great supporter for me. My whole career really. Great to hear. Obviously, really well respected captain. I loved having him as captain when I played. I felt like he made me walk taller in my early years when I still felt like I was trying to find my feet in professional, playing for Australia. Having an ex-captain who's been there and done that, as a vote of confidence, that's nice. Of course, it means absolutely nothing because we've got some great captains at the moment. Very kind words.
Hey, Pat. Just a couple of quick ones. Michael Neser bowled a pretty specky ball to get Pujara out at Drummoyne, and you don't often see his off-stump pegged back like that. Has there been any, have you spoken to him about, what he did there or how to look at that?
I saw the highlights. Not that particular ball, but just in general, any thoughts of, what he got out of the game and how he was going. And, it looked like he bowled really well. And obviously Payne's right behind the stumps there and has a good eye over all of it. There's a few things I guess we picked up and little areas that more reminders, haven't played Test cricket against them for a couple of years. So good to chat to, but it was a ripping ball. If you get to go this summer, I'd be very happy if he pulls a few of them out Ness.
And just and also I know in the past that within the Australian camp you've sort of had a task of going away and looking at particular batters and giving your own thoughts on how to get them out, and that's been divvied up amongst the group. I just wonder if you've done that this time and have you been given a player in particular to look at?
No, I can't remember doing that. Have we done? We probably have done that, have we? I don't know. No, we haven't this summer at all. As I said, we'll get together, whether it's formally or just informally at the top of our marks at bowling. We're normally always talking about mainly what we're working on and what we think is going to work for us. And then, of course, you try and tweak that to particular batters that you might face. But, nothing specific where we've, gone away and had homework over a certain player.
Pat, I just wanted to ask, 2 years ago, particularly the Melbourne and Sydney pitches in this corresponding series were pretty flat for you guys. What do you hope to see in the surfaces this year?
First of all, I think just a fair balance between bat and ball. I don't think a Test match where, a team can go and bat and get 600 runs is good viewing for anyone. So hopefully a really fair contest. Obviously here in Australia, we want some kind of, we want conditions that reflect, Australia. And I think the best Test matches here are when it's got a bit of pace and bounce in the wickets. Adelaide Oval here has been a really good wicket each time I've played. That's what I'd be asking for, a bit of pace and bounce. And, hopefully a bit of spin for Lino too.
Just a quick one on your break. Obviously not playing in the last 4 white ball games. Some people had their opinions on it, but just wondering how important was it for you and what did you do and how good was it to sleep in your own bed, and just in terms of the whole physical and mental freshen up for obviously 4 full-on tests?
Yeah, it's really good, thanks. Feel in a really good place now. We're flying here into Adelaide. I feel fresh. Those week or so I had at home, yeah, it was great preparation for this, pretty long, 4 test match series coming up. Good balance between, trying to have some downtime and rest and do the, little things that haven't been able to do over the last few months and, see some family, but of course, still training, had a couple of good hit outs, try to build some strength up, preparing for this pretty long stint coming up. So, really lucky to have that opportunity, feeling a great place of, if you could kind of pick out the perfect preparation, I think that was pretty close to it, given all the circumstances.
Did you ask, or how did it sort of come about? Was it pre-planned that you would miss those games, or did you sort of get to the point where, oh, hang on, it's been a long haul, it's a bit harder, I might need a break now?
No, just mutual decision. We've said for months and months that there's going to have to be times where players may need, a little bit, just a couple of days or a couple of games off, especially our 3 format players. So that was it. Really open conversations, as planned before the series, and I've got no doubt you'll see that over the next however long. Every season, there's always a few games that players might rest from if they've had a really high workload or there's a lot coming up. So it's nothing new. It's been done plenty of times before.
Yeah, hi, Pat. Follow to the earlier question about Michael Clark's comments. Mark Taylor said recently that all things being equal, his preference would be for a batsman rather than a bowler to be captain purely because of the workload in the field. Do you have any thoughts on that topic?
I mean, a few. Not really. I don't have too much experience, to be honest. So I can't really, say either way. Speaking to a few people, I think out of all the formats, potentially tests are the easiest for a bowler to captain. Obviously, you're busy and you're going to be out there, putting a lot of effort into bowling, but there's a bit more time that's afforded to you. The game moves at a slightly, softer pace. So, wait and see. I know there haven't been too many, bowling captains, but I don't understand, why it has to be a batter.
Pat, we've seen 6 matches between Australia and India in this series so far. And it's always been, and it has been very friendly and a lot of laughs in the middle. Do you think come test match, the mood's going to change a bit and probably the onus is on the fast bowlers to exchange a few words and, probably mark a line there on the sand in terms of, the behavior on the field and change in attitude and etc.?
I think it's been quite friendly in terms of, banter and, you see plenty of smiles, but there's lots of quick bowling out there. There's lots of, batters taking the game on. So I wouldn't say the actual match play has been, overly friendly. It's been really competitive and hard and what you want. I wouldn't be surprised if, tests are all that, but maybe, us players baking in the sun for a couple more hours each day, maybe it does get a bit more fiery, but I'm not sure. I just hope however we play the game, it reflects who we are as people. And, for the most part, us Aussie team we're pretty relaxed guys. We like a bit of a laugh. So, see what happens this series.